How to become mentally unbreakable. Most people think mental strength is something you're born with. They look at successful people, disciplined people, resilient people, and assume those individuals simply have something special that they don't. But that's not true. Mental toughness is not a gift, it's a skill. And like every skill, it can be developed. The problem is that most people spend their entire lives avoiding the very experiences that create it. They avoid discomfort, they avoid rejection, they avoid failure, they avoid criticism, they avoid uncertainty. Then one day life hits them with all of it at once, and they collapse. Not because they are weak, but because they never trained their minds for reality. The truth is that life doesn't reward comfort. Life rewards adaptation. The people who become mentally unbreakable are not the people who never suffer. They are the people who learn how to suffer without surrendering. Think about it. Every great leader, every successful entrepreneur, every elite athlete, every respected warrior, every powerful thinker has faced moments that would have destroyed the average person. Betrayal, loss, failure, humiliation, loneliness, fear. The difference wasn't that they escaped those experiences. The difference was that they learned how to survive them. And that's where mental strength begins. It begins the moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Most people see obstacles as punishment. Mentally strong people see obstacles as training. A setback becomes a lesson. A rejection becomes redirection. A failure becomes information. A loss becomes wisdom. The event itself is rarely what breaks people. It's the meaning they attach to it. Two people can experience the exact same failure. One decides their life is over. The other decides they're just getting started. The event is identical. The mindset is not. If you want to become mentally unbreakable, you must stop allowing circumstances to dictate your identity. You are not your mistakes. You are not your losses. You are not your failures. You are not the opinions of other people. Because if your identity depends on external conditions, your confidence will always be fragile. One bad day will destroy you. One criticism will shake you. One rejection will make you question everything. True strength comes from developing an identity that is independent of outcomes. You can fail and still know your worth. You can lose and still trust yourself. You can be rejected and still move forward, because your confidence is rooted in who you are, not what happens to you. Another trait of mentally unbreakable people is emotional control. Notice this carefully. Emotional control does not mean emotional suppression. It doesn't mean pretending you don't feel pain. It doesn't mean acting cold. It means refusing to become a slave to your emotions. Everyone feels anger. Everyone feels fear. Everyone feels sadness. Everyone feels disappointment. The question is whether those emotions control your actions. Weak minds react. Strong minds respond. Weak minds explode. Strong minds observe. Weak minds surrender to every feeling. Strong minds understand that feelings are temporary. Imagine making every major life decision based on your mood. You would constantly change direction. You would quit every difficult goal. You would abandon every meaningful relationship. You would never finish anything important. Mental strength is the ability to continue moving forward, even when your emotions are begging you to stop. Because motivation is unreliable. Discipline is reliable. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. And the people who achieve extraordinary things are not the people who feel motivated every day. They're the people who show up anyway. Another uncomfortable truth is that mental toughness requires loneliness, not permanent loneliness, but periods of it. There comes a point in life where you realize not everyone can come with you. Not everyone understands your vision. Not everyone supports your growth. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. And that's okay. The need for universal approval is one of the greatest weaknesses a person can have. Because the moment your happiness depends on everyone's acceptance, you've handed over control of your life. Mentally strong people are willing to stand alone. They're willing to be misunderstood. They're willing to be criticized. They're willing to be different because they understand something most people never learn. The crowd is often wrong. History is filled with examples of people who were mocked before they were respected, ignored before they were admired, rejected before they were celebrated. If they had listened to the crowd, they would have never changed anything. Another thing mentally unbreakable people understand is the power of discomfort. Comfort feels good, but comfort rarely produces growth. The strongest muscles are built through resistance. The sharpest minds are developed through challenge. The most resilient people are forged through adversity. Everything in nature grows through pressure, yet most people spend their lives trying to eliminate pressure entirely. They want easy success, easy money, easy relationships, easy happiness. But the pursuit of comfort often creates weakness, and weakness creates suffering. The path to strength is the opposite. Voluntarily do difficult things. Wake up earlier. Finish what you start. Keep promises to yourself. Exercise when you don't feel like it. Study when you're tired. Stay calm when others panic. These small acts seem insignificant, but they create a powerful message inside your mind. They teach you that you can trust yourself. And self-trust is one of the foundations of mental toughness. Because once you stop breaking promises to yourself, something changes. Your confidence becomes real. Not because you say positive affirmations, not because you think positive thoughts, but because you've accumulated evidence. Evidence that you can endure. Evidence that you can adapt. Evidence that you can survive. Another habit of mentally unbreakable people is that they stop wasting energy on things they cannot control. Think about how much stress comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. The opinions of others, the economy, the past, the future, the actions of other people, the outcome of every situation. Most anxiety comes from fighting battles you can never win. Mentally strong people focus on what they can control: their effort, their attitude, their preparation, their response, their character. And because of that, they experience a level of peace that most people never understand. Not because life becomes easier, but because they stop fighting reality. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that pain is unavoidable. Everyone wants a pain-free existence, but such a life doesn't exist. The only choice is which pain you're willing to endure: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret, the pain of honesty or the pain of deception, the pain of growth or the pain of stagnation, the pain of courage or the pain of fear. Either way, pain will be present. Mentally unbreakable people choose the pain that moves them forward, because they understand that temporary discomfort often prevents permanent suffering. Perhaps the greatest secret of mental toughness is perspective, the ability to zoom out, to remember that today's problem is not your entire life. A bad day is not a bad life. A setback is not a permanent defeat. A failure is not a final verdict. Most people break because they magnify temporary struggles, not permanent identities. But mentally strong people maintain perspective. They understand that storms pass, situations change, people evolve, circumstances improve. What feels unbearable today may become one of the greatest sources of strength tomorrow. The struggle you're experiencing right now could be preparing you for something greater than you can currently imagine. And that's why mentally unbreakable people never allow a single chapter to define the entire story. They keep moving, they keep learning, they keep adapting, they keep growing, even when progress feels invisible, even when nobody is watching, even when success seems far away, because they understand something that changes everything. Strength is not the absence of struggle. Strength is the decision to continue despite it. The mentally unbreakable person is not someone who never falls. It's someone who refuses to stay down. Someone who gets hurt but heals. Someone who gets rejected but tries again. Someone who gets knocked down but rises stronger. Again and again and again. Because at the end of the day, mental toughness isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming resilient. It's about building a mind that remains steady when life becomes chaotic. A mind that remains focused when others panic. A mind that remains hopeful when circumstances become difficult. A mind that refuses to surrender. Life will test you. That is guaranteed. There will be moments when everything feels uncertain.